Hey, what's going on, Noles Nation? It's CJ Wilson here with another episode of Dope Talk. Got a lot to unpack with this episode. Of course, I'm pretty sure you guys heard the breaking news in regards to injuries and things like that going into this rivalry game against Florida. So before we get into things, let's go ahead and kick things off. Dope Talk is brought to you by DASH.FI, the modern charge card for digital ad spend. DASH.FI is a business-to-business corporate expense card program that gets you the highest cash back on the market, starting at 3%. Most give you 1.5. DASH.FI is going to double that up at the full 3%. So if you're not getting cash back for your business-to-business purchases, what exactly are you doing? Apply for the DASH.FI MasterCard today. We have the website for DASH.FI in the description. Also, if you guys don't feel like filling out the information on the website and there's more information in general about DASH.FI, we have an email in the description. Email Chris, he can take care of all your questions in regards to DASH.FI. All right, guys, let's go ahead and get into it and talk about this senior night game honoring the national 2013 national championship, things like that. FSU ended up winning. What was the score? 58-13 against North Alabama. Start off real rocky with that 13-0 start. And then, of course, we started pushing a little bit, and I think that's when the injury happened to Jordan Travis. If you guys aren't, well, first of all, so make sure you guys like the video, subscribe to the channel. If you haven't liked this video, subscribe to the channel. I appreciate that. But yeah, if you've been living on the rock the last couple of days, Jordan Travis, starting quarterback for FSU, is out for the season due to an injury. Prayers up to Jordan Travis. Just want to talk about Jordan Travis for a second, kind of give him some flowers. Uh, I hate it happened to him, man. Prolific career for Jordan Travis, one of my favorite Noles in recent memory. I think he's going to solidify himself as a top five quarterback in FSU history. And I hate it had to end like that because he had a chance to climb higher up the QB rankings, so to speak. The bet, with these last couple games, what he did in the postseason, he had a chance to be even higher than top five. So I definitely hate it for him, especially happening on senior night, for all he's been through and things like that. And at this point in the season, too, when we're right there, all of our goals are intact, 11-0. Going to the last game of the season, rivalry game in the swamp on senior night. A lot of stuff to play for. ACC championship, possible, you know, possible games after the ACC championship, playoffs and things like that. So I just really hate it for Jordan Travis because he's stated multiple times this year when conversations arose about Heisman Trophy, things like that, any type of individual accolades, he pretty much shot them down and reiterated multiple times that his main goal is to win a national championship. His main goal is to win a national championship at FSU. Um, so I really hate it for him, man. Just to kind of go back to Jordan Travis transfer from Louisville, rocky start, under the Taggart area. Hell, there was a point in time where Browse, the offensive coordinator at the time, didn't even trust, Jordan Travis to throw the ball downfield. But you saw the flashes from Jordan Travis during that time, right? The Boston College game, remember that first touchdown run he had against Boston College, things like that. And then, Mike Norvell enters the picture. Travis wants to change positions. Started hearing the talk about people saying quarterback. Receiver. You're not a quarterback and stuff like that. Norvell kind of put all that stuff on pause and spoke life into Jordan Travis. Told him what he think he could be. And, look at those. You guys heard the story. Look at those three Heisman trophies outside right there. You have a chance to be in that conversation. Of course, he did. He was in that conversation up to the very end. But to kind of go through the bumps and bruises from that first year with Norvell, and then first year starting the 5-7 year, then last year the big steps he's made to that the 9-3 season or 10-3 season, winning the bowl game against Oklahoma, kind of digging us out of the dumps. And I think him and Norvell was pretty much tied hand in hand in the rebuild of Florida State, so to speak. And then of course this year, top five in the country consistently for the most part of the season, putting up great numbers, being the leader of this FSU team, and leading us in the right direction for the playoffs and that type of deal. So I say that to say this, man. I think Jordan Travis, from a talent standpoint, is a top five quarterback in FSU history, and there's been debates about anything outside of the top five. I will say this, all the quarterbacks in front of him, 1 through 4, and this you got a conversation for 4. Hell, in my opinion, I say top 4. From a talent standpoint, Those guys had a lot more to work with than what Jordan Travis did. If you take away Jordan Travis had to work with throughout those years. Now, granted, this year's FSU talent is on par from the skill position that we've seen in the past with other quarterbacks. But you guys know, man, the receiver room was pretty much pure at one point in time. It was just Jordan Travis on offense. We went how Jordan Travis went. The team was as good as as good as Jordan Travis was, and he carried us through a lot of games just by being Jordan Travis. We've seen the Houdini acts, getting out, going back to Florida last year, getting out of sacks and things like that. It's plenty of times you just question, how did he do that? But man, just speaking on Jordan Travis, man, one great leader, great person. Multiple times I went to practice, things like that, and he's talking to my kids, hanging out with my kids, whatever it may be, man. So I just hate it for him personally. But just to speak on Jordan Travis, the individual himself, I think he is a top 5 quarterback in FSU history. Will go down as one of the great quarterbacks in FSU history, and he deserves to have his flowers. Sucks that he's going out in this manner, in this fashion, but the work he's done for FSU, um, the groundwork has already been laid, and he's cementing himself as one of those FSU legends. I think Jordan Travis, you'll always be good in Tallahassee, man. Always welcome. The Garden Gold Nation definitely loves you. Speedy recovery, going on to the next process. NFL and things like that, man. I know you're gonna definitely get your shot. Just keep your positive attitude. You should be fine. Well, yeah. Again, though, hats off to Jay Trav. Really appreciate everything. One of the best players to come through FSU history, during some dark times too, man. And just to see the love from the fan base. From them early years to not really believing in him to getting behind him after the 5-7 season. Okay, we have something to work with, this, that, and another, to the 10-3 season, to him doing this everything pretty much last year and to now, man. The fan base truly loves you, man. It's been a crazy journey. You definitely have our support. Moving forward, you guys know Tate Rodemaker is the starting quarterback now. Saw some really good things from Tate. Now, I know people are hesitant. I've been saying this on the show, been saying this on Twitter, been saying this for a while. Pretty much after the Louisville game last year, where he kind of caught my attention and the stuff he did during that game and some of the throws he made. But I think Tate Rodemaker is going to be perfectly fine. I think offense is going to be perfectly fine. I think we're going to be fine offensively. I do think this may have lit a fire under the team. Well, I get to the team in a second. But just speaking about Tate Rodemaker himself, he can make all the throws, literally all the throws. You guys saw it on Saturday. You've been seeing it throughout the season in flashes, but the kid has a really live arm, really live arm. Slender, of course, but 6'4", and he can run too. He's not as elusive as Jordan Travis and things like that. He's not going to, get out of something like the sack against Florida. He's not going to get out of that sack or anything like that. But Tate is he can get things done with his legs. He's a pretty good athlete. Take a dunk. I've seen him do damn backflips and do stuff like that. So Tate's a pretty damn good athlete. I do think he can extend plays with his legs, but I really like his arm. He makes some wild throws. There was a couple drops too by the receivers in the North Alabama game, to where he threw guys open and threw some dimes in certain spots. I do think it's a difference, and I think the offensive players with more reps with Tate Rodemaker this week and the weeks to come, or the weeks after this, going up to next week leading up to the ACC championship and things like that. I think the receivers will get more comfortable with him because he throws a different type of ball than Jordan Travis. Trav balls are, more so touch passes and things like that. Tate put some zip, put a lot of zip on his balls, but gets there a lot quicker. So it's a different type of judge in regards to catching the ball. And to go from now granted, they P5 receivers, they should be catching the ball. But just speaking from experience and being in that situation, to kind of go from Trav and just go from Tate right then and there at that instance, it's a different type of style. The ball comes out differently between the two quarterbacks. So getting more reps in practice and things like that would be a lot better for those guys. Just to get familiar with how Tate throws the ball. But again, he has a live arm. I think if we do certain things, we can be very productive. I don't think the offense will miss a beat, to be honest with you. I think passing the ball will be perfectly fine. Opens up a lot of things. Maybe we get some more guys involved in the middle of the field and stuff like that. And I will say Tate Rodemaker will he's going to take what the defense gives him. I do think Jordan Travis did press a little bit during this season in certain situations. I think Tate is going to take what the defense gives him. Just speaking about other guys that's kind of banged up a little bit. Mo Smith, he got offensive line. We got to do something to the offensive line. We really banged up on the offensive line. Mo Smith, he's been banged up. Bless Harris, of course, he's been banged up. Rob Scott pretty much hasn't been a factor at all this year. We got to get healthy on the offensive line. But Mo Smith was banged up a little bit. He's optimistic in regards to playing. Renardo Green, he was in a sling on the sideline for the North Alabama game. There's going to be some questions about him as well. I think it's a shoulder injury. Not sure how serious it is, but he was banged up as well and in the sling, so that's going to be something to monitor. I know people was asking about Kalen DeLoach. He was a healthy scratch in my opinion. I think if this was a game of importance last week against North Alabama, or a game that we absolutely needed Kalen to play, I'm 100% sure Kalen could have played in that game. So he should be good to go for this upcoming game against the Florida Gators. But yeah, I think if you guys, I got to finish a cinematic recap. I saw it. I always catch it like right before we go live. So I saw bits and pieces of it, and I had it was the point of the Jordan Travis injury that was the point of the video. You hear Odell kind of say kind of try to get the guys riled up a little bit. As soon as I heard him say, this is a test, and one of our brothers is down, that shit got to me a little bit. So I had to cut the damn video off and start focusing on dope talk and get ready for the pod. So I finished the remainder of the recap in a second, after the video, so after we record, so to speak. But damn, that's tough. Sorry, guys, but no, I do think we'll be fine offensively. But if we could get 1% better from the entire position groups, I think this was a wake up call for these guys. I think that they kind of do understand the assignment. Unfortunately, that it had to happen like this. But you guys know how I spoke on this before. You guys know how tight this team is from a relationship standpoint. Those guys are truly brothers, and they have a great relationship. You've seen, Jordan Travis post on Instagram how many guys came to visit him and stuff like that. I say that to say this. I think this will be a little bit of motivation for those guys. They truly want to go out and do this for 13. I think now, to be completely honest with you, I think we want to finish the season strong for 13. I think this kind of motivates the guys to be a little bit better. I think if we could get 1% better from each position group across the board, quarterback, I'm calling it center guard, offensive tackle, running backs, receivers, defensively, and coaching too. 1% better, I think we could be fine, just to kind of help compensate the loss for Jordan Travis and give Tate a little more help. So if we could get 1% better, get a little bit more out of these guys, and get to that full potential individually that we've been kind of harping on the show for a while, I think we could kind of do that. But I do think Tate would be fine moving forward, to be 100% honest with you. I think offensively we'll be fine. I think from a motivational standpoint, it will help out. It just sucks that it happened to, from an individual standpoint, it just sucks that it happened to Jordan Travis. But from a team standpoint, I think FSU will be fine. It'll be some changes from Mount Norvell, but I think you guys are going to be shocked how Tate performs. Just hearing teammates talk about him and things like that, and hell, even Travis himself. Some of the coaches, they think they know for a fact, and seeing it every day, what type of player they got in Tate. Just got to go out and show it and put everything on the field. But kind of moving forward to this Florida game, yeah. And I think Florida's down. Florida's down there, started quarterback as well. Defensively, they're a terrible team. Let's be completely honest with you. Pretty much every team they played have been doing anything they wanted to them. Offensively, you had LSU. They just ran the ball down their throat with that running back. I'm pretty sure that running back is still running right now. Jaden Daniels, running, passing. Hell, he's probably kicking the ball down too against Florida. He did everything against Florida. He did what he wanted to this past weekend. Luther Burden, he had a field day against those guys as well. I don't think they're coached well defensively, be quite honest with you. I don't think they give a lot of effort as well on defense. They're a bad tackling team. They quit in certain situations and give maximum effort. Offensively, Florida's not bad offensively. I know people kind of question Billy Napier's play call, and I do too in certain situations. But overall, offensively, they're not bad. Very good running backs. Of course, they're down to quarterback now, so it's going to be a lot different how they approach it. But the couple series he did play against Missouri, athletic guy, he could run. So we'll see how that plays out. But passing the ball, I'm not confident in that at all. He really has no experience. So I think defensively will be absolutely fine, playing against Florida Gators. They have a very good receiver, or the two good backs in the kid ETN, and the other guy, I forget his name, number two, ended up transferring over from Louisiana with Billy Napier. And of course, they have the one receiver, well, two receivers. The true freshman is pretty good. I think is it Mizell, if I'm not mistaken. Florida fans, my apologies if I forget which damn true freshman it is. And also Ricky Pearsall, pretty good receiver. You guys, Florida State fans, you probably, I'm 100% sure you remember Ricky from last year. He pretty much did whatever he wanted to in that first half against us once we made an adjustment and put Greedy Vance on him in the second half. He was pretty much blanketed, but still a very good receiver for the Florida Gators and can do some damage to us if given the opportunity. Playing in the swap is going to be a pretty hostile environment, but those guys lost 4 straight games. I think if FSU kind of do what they need to do early and control certain situations, we may be able to, negate that home field advantage just from the simple fact, man, those fans are tired. They're pissed off at this point in time. Speaking of defense and things like that, Coach Allen Fuller, I shout out to Coach Allen Fuller. He is a semifinalist for the Bros Award. That's the top assistant in the country. So shout out to Coach Fuller and the job he's done this year. Defense has done an amazing job. Really good job, man. I told you guys, Fuller deserves all the damn credit. All the damn credit this year for sure. A lot of people slander him and things like that, man. And some situations could have been warranted, but again, give the praise as well when it's warranted too. And Adam Fuller has done a stand-up job this year. Defense hasn't given them more than 24 points in the entire game. And if you see what we did to LSU held the last 2 years defensively, and then you see what LSU has done the last 2 years offensively versus pretty much everybody in the damn country, man. You got to you look at Fuller even in a different light. Like it's crazy what we did defensively the last 2 years against LSU, and just seeing that LSU team, especially Jaden Daniels, who's probably the Heisman front runner at this point in time, put up video game type numbers. But yeah, offensively, I think we'll be fine. Defensively, we'll be fine. I think this team is going to come together a lot and prove a lot of people wrong. And just the playoff talk situation, it's kind of beating a dead horse. I hate to even address this, but it needs to be addressed because, the notion and conversations have been going on about possibly missing the playoffs and stuff like that. If FSU wins out, first of all, if a P5 team wins out, they're not missing the playoffs. They're just not. When I say win their conference championship and all that type of deal, they're not missing the playoffs. Yeah, regardless, they're not missing the playoffs. And there's been situations where backup quarterbacks have led teams in the playoffs and going on and done damage in the playoffs as well with those backup quarterbacks. So again, if FSU wins out, we have nothing to worry about. Let's take care of business these next 2 games, and they'll definitely be in the playoffs. There's a lot of stuff that needs to. I say this all the time. The polls and things like that, they work themselves out every time. And there's a lot of games left that need to be played that work shit out. So you got 2 versus 3 this upcoming weekend in Ohio State and in Michigan. And then of course they got whoever wins that, they got to play another team in the Big Ten championship, and then Pac-12 championship is probably going to end up being Oregon and Washington for a rematch. So that's going to be another chess piece that comes off the board. So again, we're fine. FSU wins out, they'll absolutely be in the playoffs, 100%, no question about it. But yeah, I don't want to speak too much on the North Alabama game. I mean, we dominated 158-13. It was sloppy start off rip, but I mean, they only reason North Alabama did some things offensively is just they pretty much threw all their eggs in one basket early in the game with the clunky formations, different formations to try to throw FSU off and get sneaky type of yards or sneaky type plays, so to speak. Of course, you had the fake punt that went for like 60-something yards. They had 226 total yards, 83 passing yards, 143 rushing yards, and like 60 of those rushing yards came on the fake punt. So again, it wasn't nothing at all that they did. I did want the offensive line to play a little bit better because we didn't dominate the line of scrimmage like we should have dominated the line of scrimmage. But again, like I said, we are banged up on the offensive line. But just overall moving forward, I do think the season isn't over. We aren't, falling off the rails or things like that. Yes, we lost our leader. Yes, we lost one of the best players on the team for sure, without a question of mine. but we have capable guys that can, do some things as well. And I think this kind of goes to the development of what Norvell has built. We got some pretty good quarterbacks, man. You guys saw Brock Glenn getting there do some good things against North Alabama as well, the true freshman. Been pretty high on him for a while. So I think we'll be fine in this situation. It's not to where, years pass where we get a quarterback hurt and everything is just dead. I think Tate Rodemaker is going to surprise a lot of people. He's going to be pretty productive. You got to realize, too, the other positions on the field are still there. I mean, Johnny Wilson is still on the team. Keon Coleman is still on the team. Jaheim Bell, Kyle Moore, they're still on the team. Trey Benson. We still have these explosive offensive weapons, that could make a lot of plays for us. We just got to give them the ball. I do feel like we have a quarterback that can get them the ball. So again, we lost one of our probably our best player overall, one of the key players on the team, without a doubt. But we got some really capable guys on the skill position that can get things done. And, once we get them the ball in certain situations and feed those guys, I think we'll be perfectly fine against a, 5 or 6 Florida team that can't stop a nosebleed that's on their backup quarterback. And, of course, Louisville in the ACC championship. Um, but that's all I got on this past game, I guess, and so to speak, on Jordan Travis and that situation, and just looking forward to Florida a little bit. Um, I want to dominate those guys. Of course, it's going to be a different situation. I don't think we ever went into a game where both um, starting quarterbacks were out, especially in getting hurt the week prior. Like it's a crazy precedent, but we'll see how it plays out for sure. I think just from a talent standpoint, we're just better than those guys. Simply put, if defense do what they do, if the defense do what they do, we should be perfectly fine. Going to jump over to some recruiting a little bit, touch on a few things, and then we're going to go ahead and jump into some callers. I know you guys got some takes you guys want to get off and, let your feelings out in the situation as well. So I definitely want to hear from you guys and see what you guys got to say about it. But make sure you guys like this video and subscribe to the channel. Again, like the video, subscribe to the channel. If you got any questions, particularly, go ahead and hit that super chat. I'm in the comments, but I'm not in them all the time, so to speak, due to speaking on the show and things like that. If you guys have a super chat question, that's the quickest way to get your question or comment, whatever it may be, addressed right then and right here on the show at that point in time. But On the Trail is brought to you by Jewel Paul, Realtor Jewel Paul. Jewel is a realtor in Southwest Florida, but services the entire state of Florida. Whether you're trying to buy your home or sell your home, Jewel is your we back? Yeah, perfect. All right, my apologies. Back to the ad read again. I'm going to go On the Trail. On the Trail is brought to you by Realtor Jewel Paul. Jewel is a realtor in Southwest Florida, but services the entire state of Florida. Whether you're trying to buy your home or sell your home, Jewel is your guy. Jewel is willing to donate 20% of the closing costs back to you. So again, that's money back in your pocket, right? Buying a home or sell your home, Jewel is your guy. He's willing to take care of you at the 20% of the closing costs. And also, am I lagging a little bit? Let the video catch up for a second. My apologies, guys. I think we're back good. And also, again, Judas and Noles. So Noles like to take care of Noles. So if you're trying to buy a home and sell your home, he's willing to donate 20%. He's willing to donate proceeds to the Battles In collection. Battles In is an important piece of FSU and what we do with our student athletes. So again, if you are guys are trying to buy or sell a home, he's willing to donate some of the proceeds to the Battles In collection. You can reach out to Jude at www.homesforknows.com. Let's go ahead and jump into some recruiting talk real quick. All right, guys, we had a decommitment on the recruiting trail. 3-star safety CJ Hurd has decommitted from FSU. Not sure what his options are. Kind of looking forward. He was in Miami visiting for the Hurricanes game against Louisville this past weekend. Excuse me, not sure how high he is on the Miami Hurricanes board, or if he's even entertaining them to that degree. But I think this was a mutual decision between FSU and CJ to kind of move forward from a position standpoint. It's looking at different type of safeties and what they could do on the field. So again, I think it was a mutual decision to kind of move on from CJ Hurd, the three-star safety out of the Atlanta, Georgia area. Want a little bit more athletic style in the back end, more guys that could do more things in the secondary, pretty much play corner, safety, all three positions within the back end, want versatility. And that's what Pat Surtain is kind of looking for moving forward. So again, good luck to CJ moving forward. Hope everything works out. Kai Bates, four-star cornerback out of top 100 quarterback, that is, out of the Orlando, Florida area. Recently decommitted from at the LSU Tigers. He was on campus for the Miami Hurricanes game for FSU, took an unofficial visit there. Took an official visit over the summer, 6'1", 6'2", around 175 pounds. This is one of my favorite cornerbacks within this cycle. Really athletic kid. His top schools at the end of the day was FSU, Tennessee, Alabama, and LSU. Took official visit over the summer prior to committing to the LSU Tigers. Again, backed off that pledge after taking a visit for the Miami Hurricanes game. I like Kai a lot. FSU stands in a good position for him. I think it was a couple of crystal balls that started rolling in for Kai Bates. So look for him to be within this class, this 2024 recruiting class. Again, like Kai a lot. Was speaking with at the FSU game at our tailgate. Matter of fact, speaking of tailgates, make sure you guys grab a ticket. If you guys are going to the ACC championship game, grab a ticket. Come hang out with us in Charlotte. I plan on partying and hanging out in Charlotte just to celebrate us getting to the ACC championship and getting that victory and taking back the conference that's rightfully ours. So grab your ticket for the for the FSU ACC championship game tailgate in Charlotte if you haven't already. The link is in the description. Again, grab your tickets. We're going to throw it in the comments as well. Grab your ticket. Big time tailgate. And the spot we got, man, is real dope. You never know who might pop up at these tailgates too, former players or things like that. So speaking of tailgates, Brian McFadden, former FSU cornerback, Pittsburgh Steeler, was at the Miami game tailgate, and we was talking, chopping it up for a second and things like that. And we were speaking about Kai Bates, and he was just talking about how high he is on Kai Bates. From an athletic standpoint, the kid has only played corner for like 1 or 2 years. He's pretty much brand new to the position. We're all to the position, so to speak. So as far as techniques and being coached up and just learning how to play corner all together, it's brand new to this kid. So what you see on film is just raw athletic ability. Uber athletic kid, makes a lot of plays, has great instincts too. So I say that to say this: once he gets coached up on the next level, the sky's the limit for this kid. Nice size, long arms, physical kid as well. Read plays, nice instincts. So once he gets the nuances of playing cornerback to kind of match up with his athletic ability, I think the sky's the limit. So yeah, I was speaking to Brian McFadden, and he was really high on Kai Bates, really high. I like this kid a lot too. He's probably one of my favorite cornerbacks out of the state of Florida, top 3 in my opinion. Top 3 or 4. You got for me personally, of course, Charles Lester is number 1. Jamari Howard is up there. Kai Bates, and along with Jameer Grimsley, cornerback that's committed to the Alabama Crimson Tide. Those are the guys I like the most in the cornerback position. So for FSU to have three of those guys are the top guys in Florida. In my personal opinion, I'm like a kid in the candy store as a former defensive back. To have Charles Lester, Kai Bates possibly within this class, along with Jamari Howard, I think FSU is going to be perfectly fine. Great DB Hall, especially for a coach like Patrick Surtain in his first year. I've said this multiple times on the show. I think Pat Surtain was a home run hire. The development from my defensive back room has been amazing within 1 year, and the recruiting has been amazing. I mean, you talk about KJ Bolden, Charles Lester, Jamari Howard, Ricky Knight III, and possibly Kai Bates as well. That's a home run haul, the best defensive back class in the country by far. So shout out to Patrick Surtain for the work he's done on the trail, and also the development he's done in the defensive back room. We're going to go ahead and try to open this thing up. That's all I got from the recruiter standpoint. I think FSU is far from done within this 2024 class. It's a couple more pieces they want to add. from a defensive back standpoint, I do think we may want to add one more along with possible Kai Bates. Look for Xavier Lucas to possibly be one of the guys to fill that void. 3-star safety out of American Heritage. He's committed to Wisconsin. Out of American Heritage in South Florida, he's committed to Wisconsin. As you guys know, Patrick Surtain is very familiar with the American Heritage. He was the former head coach at American Heritage before going on to join the Miami Dolphins staff. This kid is pretty good. This guy is committed to Wisconsin. He's a high riser recently as far as the FSU defensive backboard. They like this kid a lot, a lot. Like I said, Pat Surtain is very high on him. Athletic kid, loves the way he tracks the ball in the air, makes a lot of plays. So look for that kid to possibly take a visit to FSU in the future and maybe be within this class. I'm going to go ahead and open things up. If you guys want to join the show, go ahead and let's do it, man. Hit that link. Let's chop it up, man. I want to hear you guys' opinions on the quarterback situation, things like that, and how FSU may favor moving forward. Hey, appreciate the super chat, man. Play my theme music. Matter of fact, and play a specific theme music too, man. We got a quarterback. Let's go toss that thing.
We got the best running back in the whole damn league. And we got a quarterback that's going to toss that thing.
Yes, sir, man. Shout out to Jamie. Appreciate the super chat. Carly Matt, appreciate the donation. Hate that Joe T was hurt. Next man up, though. Can't wait to see how we play Saturday night. Finish for JT. Definitely, man. Finish for 13, man. I can't wait to see as well, man. I'm pretty excited. I think no, see, it's Friday. No, it's Saturday night. Yep. Yeah, Saturday night. So we'll see how it plays out. I do think we got a caller in. All right, let's go. We got a caller in. Let's get the conversation going. Brandon, what's good? You there?
Can you hear me?
Yeah, I hear you now. You good?
I'm trying to. Okay, I'm off. Okay, cool. Yeah, I'm good, man. How are you, man?
Pretty good, bro. Talk to me. I know, man. It hurt, right? Talk to me. How you feeling?
Man, listen. That he like my son, man. Like I love Jordan. Like, if I was an irresponsible teenager, he could literally be my son's age. When that CJ, when that happened, I'm eating like some Cheetos,
Mhm.
and the Cheeto fell out of my mouth because I saw his foot. First, I thought because he kind of responded like his leg cramped up.
Mhm.
Did- I immediately texted Big Game. Big Game's like, B, hold on, I don't know shit. I'm like, dawg, this ain't happening. And all that stuff going on, man, it was associated for at least an hour. Like, my son came and was like, Dad, did you order the pizza? I thought he had just came in 5 minutes ago, and I was like, an hour had passed. I'm literally watching the game, lost all track of time. That's how messed up I was over Jordan. Like that, he is really like my son, dog. It hurts. Like I sleep good that night, man. I tossed and turned. Like I woke up at like 3:45. I'm pacing the crib. Like, dog, it I tell James, like, it wasn't supposed to happen to him. It wasn't. He was supposed to be able to go out on his shield, win, lose, draw. The legend that I knew he was supposed to be. Even though people are now calling him a legend, it don't feel the same. Like he didn't get that chance to really cement himself as a Florida State icon for history. Honest,
Yeah, bro. And I kind of hate that
me and you differ on Tate. I know
you breaking you.
you love Tate.
My bad, bro. You kind of in and out a little bit. Can you hear me?
I'm breaking up too, I think.
You there? Now you good? Now you good?
I'm back. Okay.
Yeah. Yeah. Go
No,
ahead.
and I'm saying I know you love Tate. Me and you differ on Tate. I'm a bigger Brock Glenn fan. I pushing. If Jordan was my first one, my second one's going to be Brock Glenn for next year's QB1. I know everybody has a lot of confidence in Tate. I'm not of that ilk as of yet. Um, I was at that Louisville game, everybody champions. A lot of people don't remember that it was Trayshawn Ward that really kind of carried that game and buoyed it, averaging like 12 yards a carry for much of that game until Benson kind of came on at the end. Tate made a couple of good throws.
Remember,
But
no, I think
Oklahoma,
remember that Louisville game. Wasn't it?
yeah, that
It
was
was NC State game. Yep. That was
yeah.
NC State game. He got hurt. But yeah, he did ball that Louisville game. You're right.
Yeah, he averaged like 12 yards, and he was dominating that game. So he kind of
Mm-hmm.
buoyed it till like Tate got in a little bit of rhythm. Now I'm
Mm-hmm.
not totally against Tate. He does have a nice arm and everything. The athleticism is cool. My thing is that I'm reading on the timeline everybody talking about. Well, now the offense may open up, and I'm looking at people like, and apologize CJ for people in the audience. I'm like, you're idiots. Like you think just because he can throw the ball farther. An offense with a Heisman candidate now is going to improve. You're basically calling Norvell an idiot. Because if that's the case, he should have been in the whole time.
He should have been started.
You're right. So people are not thinking that we're going to take this dip. That's just crazy. Going into the swamp, your first start at night, man. I don't care about Louisville. I live in Louisville. F these people here. We got to beat Florida. All I care about is beating the Gators. Everything else to me is cake. If we don't win the ACC, I ain't tripping. If we go to the playoffs and don't win a game, I ain't tripping. Beat Florida, crush their season, kill any momentum they may have on the recruiting trail for another year, and I'm happy. Then we'll regroup next year and do it all over again. So beat Florida. To me, everything else is cake, brother.
No, I agree with you. I think that even though we're playing for the ACC championship, something we haven't done in 2014, you always got to be Florida. And I do think that game is the most important. But with them having their quarterback issues as well, it's crazy how they play it out. But I feel confident in that game. But I do agree with you. Talk about the offense would be more fluid and things like that. I mean, come on now. I think we'll take a step back in some degree because just what Jordan Travis does with his legs and also just extending plays. He sees a lot more things. Throws balls in different areas and stuff like that. Throws guys open. So I think Tate throws guys open as well. But Jordan just does things differently. So I do think it will be a drop off. I do think if the position groups around him raise the floor a little bit, 1%, then I think we'll be okay. But again, I know you're not an Adam Fuller fan, but I think it really falls on defense. I know, right? I think it falls on defense. If the defense can do what they're supposed to do the rest of the season and dominate, I think we'll be fine, and they'll do enough offensively to compensate for the loss of Jay Trav.
I'm with you. They can't get behind. They
No, you
gotta
can't.
start
Yeah,
off good
I
against
agree.
Florida.
I agree.
If
I
they
agree.
get behind, people gonna start looking around because 13 ain't there to bail you out now. Now
Yeah.
who steps up to make a play? Now Johnny tries to try too hard. Maybe Keon tries too hard. Maybe Benson, somebody fumbles. Then it becomes the Oregon game when we get blown out because everybody's trying to make a play. Nobody can make one. Next thing you look up, now it's not gonna be 63 to whatever it was, but it could get real bad. I don't care, CJ. Beat Florida. Whatever. If y'all gotta sell y'all soul, y'all daughters, y'all dogs, cheat. I don't care. Beat Florida. We will regroup next year if we don't win the ACC. Don't care. Beat the Gators. And with that, brother, go Noles, brother.
Who knows, brother? Appreciate you, B. Jack Tossman, you there, bro?
How you doing, CJ?
I
you hear
can't
me?
hear you. Harlan, can you hear him?
Can you hear me?
Let me refresh real quick, Jack. Hold that thought 1 second. All right, my apologies. People, Jack, you there?
Yeah, I'm here. You can hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you, man. Talk to me. How
All
you
right.
feeling?
I gotta tell you, I'm not feeling too terrible. And maybe it's because a bit of perspective I'm trying to keep with all this whole thing. One of my first FSU games I ever went to was Jacksonville State, sitting up there 2/3 up the way to the student section, watching that last touchdown come in and watching us get beat by an FCS team. But I guess having that as the what I came into the school with, seeing where we're at right now and seeing the fact that we got a really, really good backup quarterback in the wings, someone who's we already know can make plays, we know can throw that ball. I feel good, especially considering how terrible Florida is. I mean,
Yeah, they're bad.
they're awful. I don't know how Billy Napier still got a job, but we won't even get into that. Um, I think the biggest question mark to me going into this game is I want to know what Johnny's going to do. We've seen the last couple games have been a bit dicey with him. You got him going for some really big plays, and then he drops it. And I think if he were to grab some of these passes, I think we'd be damn near invincible. But because we know it, when he gets the ball, he can get it far. So I'll be interested to see if he can start catching some of Tate's passes. But overall, I'm pretty happy with it. I think we got a really good shot against Florida. And honestly, I think even Louisville, I think we'll be able to knock them dead. Adam Fuller is running a good defense. As much grief as I give him every week in that first half, watching us drop a few touchdowns, he comes back in the second half. That defense is absolutely killer when it is running on all cylinders. I think we're going to just embarrass the Gators next week. So I'm really looking forward to that.
No, I agree with you, man. I think these next two games are very winnable for us. I think we could do it with the pieces we have. And then, once we win these next two games, and then, of course, the playoffs, it could be a little different, but that's a different bridge once you cross that. But speaking of these two games to finish the regular season with, I think the regular season +1, I think you're right. I think we could definitely do some things against Louisville and especially Florida to, have our goals, which are still intact, to win the conference and play and let the chips fall. May they lay after that. So I agree with you. These next two games, I feel like they are winnable for FSU. If the defense plays how they've been playing, for sure, throughout the season, I think we'll be fine. Again, we haven't given up more than 24 points in the game, and I do trust Norvell and Tate Rodemaker with the pieces we have to get more than 24 points in some way or form. In fact, I do think we get more than 24 points. And again, the 24 points is on the high end. I don't have the numbers right in front of me. I'm not sure exactly what FSU averages on the season.
It's definitely a lot lower than 24.
Right, a lot lower than 24. I think it's under 20 a game. So again, 20 points. It's on a 20 a game. So 20 points. I think FSU, Mike Norvell, Tate Rodemaker. I think we're good for 20 points for sure.
Most definitely. And I just want to say, if anyone on here who's listening tonight's trying to sit here and go, oh, well, everyone's saying, what's going to happen if we go 13-0, just put that out of your mind.
Put it out of your fucking mind. Again,
let's not even bring it up.
Right, I agree with you.
Because if you think the committee's crazy enough to put in a 12-1 Texas over a 13-0 FSU, or a 12-1 Oregon or Washington over a 13-0 FSU, get your head checked. I'm just asking you, get your head checked.
I agree with you 100%, Jack. 100%. It's not going to happen. If we take care of business, we're perfectly fine. We control our destiny. No one else controls our destiny. We control it. We win out, we're in.
And doesn't that feel great? But thank you so much for having me on, CJ. You have a good night. Go Noles.
Appreciate it, bro. Take care. Go Noles. Yeah, I agree. Again, like I said, that's kind of read what Jack said. As far as, don't listen to the BS narratives you may hear from different talking heads on different platforms. The committee's been pretty consistent, be honest with you, in my regard, just kind of sticking with their guns on certain things. But again, if we win out, we control our destiny. There's no way in hell FSU will get left out. Again, there's so many chips that need to fall off the board. You got 2 versus 3 that plays. I guess Washington is 4 now, 4 versus 6 that plays. And of course, Georgia, they're not out the woodshed yet, even versus Alabama. That could make things interesting. I don't think that'll be an interesting conversation, but I don't think FSU will be the one that'll be a part of the interesting conversation. It'll be more so if Bama does end up beating Georgia. I think it'll be more so another conference like the that'll be something interesting. Maybe the Pac-12 gets left out, depending. I think Oregon will win that game, to be honest with you. Maybe the Pac-12 will get left out, but we'll see how that plays out. But it could be a situation where two SEC teams may get in. Even though I don't think Georgia deserves to be in if they lose that game, but I think they will be in just from the simple fact, two-time national champ, X amount of games won, this, that, and another. But we'll see how that plays out once the chips fall off the board. But again, I think FSU will be perfectly fine. Win out, we're good to go. Make sure you guys hit that like button, like this channel. Like the video. Let's get it going. Again, if you guys want to join the show, go ahead and tap in right now. Let's get it going. Call us. I know y'all want to get y'all takes off. But I'm really excited for Charlotte. Don't let this situation detour ruin your plans for making the Charlotte. Definitely come up for the weekend. It's going to be a great event. Something, like I said, we haven't been this game in 9 years. This is our conference. Don't get it confused. This is our conference. So to be back where we belong on top of the conference, it's going to be really good. And also, there's been a lot of smoke about, conference realignment and things like that. And there was a tweet out there about FSU and I think a couple other schools leaving the conference. That's absolutely going to happen. That news it's going to be, I guess the news will be dropping any damn day, but it's going to absolutely happen whenever it does drop. Going to absolutely happen. The question is, what conference will FSU will FSU go in after that? In my opinion, maybe this is just my opinion. This isn't no information I got or anything like that. In my opinion, I think it will be the Big Ten. From a money standpoint, it's perfect for us. And also, I think from a competitive standpoint, it'd be perfect too. I think that's a conference we could definitely compete in on an annual basis. And to get that TV deal with Fox is going to be perfect. Big time. I know people talk about, complain about weather and travel and playing in certain situations and things like that. You're going to play in November. It's going to be in November, right? You're going to play in two games out of the 2 weeks, and pretty much 2 games out of the entire season you could possibly play in those type of elements. And I say one game, 1 or 2 games. Certain years it'll be 1 game, because I'm 100% sure if we do end up going to the Big Ten, we're going to keep that Florida game. That's not going to go anywhere. So that's going to be 1 game, possibly, still in the state of Florida, depending on whether it's a home. And, I'll take that back. Yeah, possibly 2 games, at the most 2 games. Most times it'll be you play 1 game in November in one of those Big Ten schools that may have some cold weather. So people talk about playing in the cold. I think it's kind of overblown. We're not like the NFL where you're kind of playing into, in these elements in January and things like that on the road, that type of deal. Nah, you'll play 1 or 2 games in November in possible not even inclement weather, possibly cold situations. But other than that, we'll still be fine. So that won't be an issue at all for FSU if the Big Ten is the draw. And of course, if it's the SEC, that'd be interesting as well. It'd be real dope from an atmosphere standpoint, right? We know a lot of these schools are within, driving distance to Tallahassee, Auburn, Georgia, of course, Florida, Alabama, Mississippi State, Ole Miss. Those type of schools are Auburn. I just said Auburn, excuse me. But from an atmosphere standpoint, I think home games and away games will be very live. It'll be from a, how can I put this too, an economic standpoint from the city of Tallahassee. Every home game will pretty much be booming. You have, say, Auburn and those Southern teams coming over. It'll be pretty cool as well too. So whether it's SEC or SEC, SEC. I said SEC or SEC. Whether it's Big Ten or SEC, it doesn't matter at all. I think it'll be a win-win for FSU. For the simple fact, we're getting this money, right? Way more money, way more money. So pay the ACC whatever it is to get out of that bullshit ass contract, because we're going to get that money on the back end anyways. From a recruiting standpoint, it's going to be crazy. It's going to be crazy. You see what we guys doing from a recruiting standpoint, program standpoint, and things like that. With our current money, you add in that type of TV deal to a Florida State, man, you're giving us the keys to a Lamborghini, right? More money for more facilities, recruiting pitches, stadium upgrades, whatever it may be that we need from a program standpoint that we've been asking for. That money would definitely be coming in on top of what we just imagine that money with what we have right now. So again, I think it's a good thing for FSU, and that shit's going to put a lot of motherfuckers on notice around the country. It's a good thing for FSU. It's a bad thing for the rest of the country, because you give us that type of money, some crazy shit can happen. Good things for us, but not good for the rest of the country. But again, if you guys want to join the show to get your takeoff, go ahead and hit that link. Let me hear from you. If not, we're going to end the show pretty soon. Make sure you guys like this video and subscribe to the channel. Just to kind of wrap it up, it's a gloomy day for us for sure, a gloomy time for FSU for sure, but it's not over. It's definitely light at the end of the tunnel. There's a lot of shit we still have at state that we could play for. A lot of stuff that's still attainable too. A lot of stuff that's not out of the realm of reach. Things we could get done. So it's a bump in the road. It's a detour in the road, but the bump in the road, detour in the road just makes the journey a little bit harder. But again, the journey is a journey and the destination is still intact. It's not 100% impossible not to reach our destination. I think it's still, all our goals are still intact. This makes it a little bit tougher, but also it could make it a little bit sweeter too on the back end. But I do hate it for J Trav, like my guy Brandon said. From a legacy standpoint, I do hate it from him because he had a lot of stuff left to play for and a lot of stuff left to prove, that could have really submitted him into, FSU history. But at the same time, I do think his legacy is cemented to a degree as far as what he's done for FSU and bringing us back up in the dark times and as being the best player on the football team during those times. And just laying it all on the line for FSU. Appreciate everything you've done from us from that perspective, J Trav. But again, make sure you guys like this video, subscribe to the channel. We'll be back this upcoming week with a preview of the Florida game. Got a Florida reporter on to talk about the Gators. It's rivalry week. Make sure you guys tune in for that one. Go Noles.